Welcome back to GnT, the only podcast with two bald dudes with beards. They don't exist anywhere else. It's just us. And on top of it all, on this obvious niche of two people who look nothing like any other people on the planet, glasses, beard, bald, backwards hat, some degree of hoodie, we're also nerds. So,
Correct.
how many nerdy, opinionated, glasses wearing, bald beard people do you know that have a podcast? What? Everyone?
Dang it.
Everyone? Goofy, why did you
Oh, we
tell
had a
me?
chance.
Everyone?
I thought we were winning, man. I thought it was just us.
I thought we broke through. I thought this was everything. We've been doing this for like 52 episodes.
Yeah. Has it been that much?
How many copycats,
Was I awake
man?
for all of them?
You weren't even there for 3 of them.
Okay, that's fair.
Welcome. We're here to talk about Wonder Man.
Right.
Because there's a lot to talk about with Wonder Man.
Correct.
Good to see Jay again. Hope everything's well with him.
What up, Jay?
There's a lot to talk about. And for the first time in a very long time, there's almost no negatives. And the negatives have nothing to do with Wonder Man.
There's one, but I'll say that for the end.
So I don't want to do too much in spoilers. Because but at the same time,
it's gonna be hard.
I don't think I could spoil much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that the last episode, this is inherently in itself a spoiler, is the only thing that has any potential spoilers in it. And the rest of it is just compelling story.
Yep.
Across the board. I gotta give credit where credit's due. I'm impressed by Wonder Man.
Yep.
And what are your thoughts before we dive in?
I mean, if I can give an open intake, in regards to just how I feel about Wonder Man, right? So, man, like, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was, dare I say, a top 5 show within the MCU. And that's saying a lot because there's been at least 15 or 16 shows. If you want to count in like things like Groot or like Werewolf by Night or the holiday special, I guess you can kind of count those. Maybe it's like 19 or so, whatever. So like it's not anything to just say like, hey, no, I think that genuinely speaking, it's a top 5 show. It's up there with like Loki season 1, WandaVision, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and then there's like this show. To me, I'm not gonna put those in any particular order. It's a different spin on an origin story. I don't think that's a spoiler. It didn't really have like very high stakes in terms of like hero stakes per se. So I guess that also is a little bit of a spoiler, but very high emotional stakes that will capture you. Like it was relationship driven between Simon and Trevor, top tier, great chemistry there. I thought they did a really good job, by the way, of world building. Like I thought there was some really good world building going on. Kind of just like understanding where the world is. Superheroes are very prominent at this point in time, and there's like a risk to that, right? Because you get to see what that means for non-mainstream superpowered people. Because think about it from the perspective of like Doctor Strange, you got like Captain America, like they are looked at as the heroes that save the world, that save people from Thanos, like Thanos happening. So like, yeah, they get a pass for the most part, but like not so much others, right? And getting to kind of see like how that plays out. There's a another, and there's a group that we've seen before in other projects that we now know is going to be playing a future role in the MCU, and that will tie to mutants. We can talk about that later. But really, the best part of the show, man, was just Simon and Trevor. Like, they're two people who are ultimately have the same goal for two different reasons. And while mostly you thought from like the trailers and what you've seen that like Trevor was the one helping Simon, Simon may have helped Trevor more when it's all said and done. But yeah, that's it. Like, really great. Like, I mean, damn, like top five, man. Like, I enjoyed it. I like binged everything and finished the last four episodes last night. I'm gonna watch it again probably over the next week or so. Like, it was good. It was damn good.
I gotta say, I was interested because it's an interesting character. And I was interested when they told us it's not really a superhero story. And I
Yeah,
got more interested as it became less of a superhero story.
yeah,
It was it's going to be hard to compare, but for Star Wars fans, it was what Andor was to Star Wars, which is a story that takes place in the Marvel universe, and there is presence of Marvel things, but it wasn't business as usual for them. It wasn't the same Marvel story. It was brilliant.
yeah,
It wasn't groundbreaking. It wasn't the most interesting thing I've ever seen, but it was interesting.
yeah.
It wasn't revolutionary, but it's the first time they've done it. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
It's refreshing to see something like that. And compared to anything we've seen from any comic book or comic book related story,
yeah.
aces. Aces all across.
Agree.
So what synopsis? Let's tell the story as we got it. There were 8 episodes.
Yeah,
I first time, I don't feel like it was too long. I don't feel like I left saying I want more.
yeah,
I didn't feel like it dragged on anywhere. I felt like every episode did a job and it did its job well. And at the end of every one, I was like, huh, interesting.
yeah.
What else is happening? And it was hard for me to stop watching. The only reason I stopped watching is because I was falling asleep from just exhaustion.
Fair.
Go. Let's start. What do you think
So
from the
yeah,
beginning?
so yeah. I mean, so from the very beginning, I was just fascinated by the overall. Number one, whenever I'm watching something, I kind of subconsciously try to compare, not in a way of like, oh, I wonder if I wonder if it's as going to be as good, but just more so like I already have a basis of a story I know about the character, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm curious to see how they put their spin on it because I know that there's going to be a spin. I'm just curious as to how they're going to put their spin on it. So from the very beginning, like the first two episodes, I thought were a good introduction into Simon and his world, and sort of what I would say was kind of like a you could tell like the very opening scene, because we're still talking non spoilers, right? So in the very opening scene, what I found was, oh, this is how this character is basically self-sabotaging himself continuously. And I immediately knew, okay, well, this is gonna be how we're gonna have to go about I'm curious to see how we're gonna go about unraveling this sort of like him recognizing that the way that he goes about doing these things are actually what manifests the problems that end up happening or in his life, right? Like I was curious about that. I actually thought the first episode did a very good job of introing him, but I thought the second episode, I didn't like the pacing of it. I felt it was a little bit off. I thought it kind of dragged on in some areas where it should not. But then that led to what we got in episode 3 and 4. Episode 4 is by far some of the best piece of storytelling I've seen in the MCU. And I'm talking about comparing to like movies. Like some of the best storytelling I've seen was in episode 4. Like
Trying to
episode 4
think
was
of
just
episode
like
4. Episode 4 was
Doorman.
the what? Which one?
Doorman.
No, that was episode 6.
No, Doorman was 4.
Doorman was 4.
Yeah. Like that episode was amazing.
This entire time, I've been waiting to talk about Doorman.
Yeah, I believe that was
I
I
thought it
could
was
be
6.
wrong.
Hold on, I'll find out. I'll
Yeah,
bring it up right now.
I believe it was 4 because I just remember just because at first I was like, why are we getting this?
Why?
And
What?
then
Yeah,
was it 4? Am I right?
I'm looking. I'm looking right now. Yeah, it was 4. I thought it was 6
It
the
was
whole
4.
time. Wow, that's how
Hmm.
wild that was. That show was so well paced that
Hmm.
Doorman to me was a different show.
Yeah.
Like, so episode 1 matinee, we find out about Simon.
Simon. Yep.
And Simon, I'm watching it. I'm watching it with my friends. And we're like, oh no, baby, what is you doing? Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up, man. And
Right out of the gate.
he can't get out of his own way, man. He
Hmm.
he and you know what's funny? I don't think he was wrong. I don't think anything he said was wrong. I just don't think he didn't realize that wasn't the time to say it.
Yep.
Adding to the fact that like he had severe imposter syndrome,
Hmm.
right? Like he's a good actor, and they made it clear to us in the first
And he
episode
was. Yep.
that he was a good actor. They were told like he came highly recommended. He nailed his
His
auditions. Like
interview, all this. Yeah.
he's good, and we got that too. There was enough in the show of just little bits and pieces of him of Yaya acting in
Mhm.
different levels of good, bad, like
Yep.
that we could see like, oh no, he's a good actor, which has got to be fun. Like, you know, another show where I feel like everyone
Actor
had fun
playing.
making it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember who said it, but it was the difference between a good actor, a great actor, and a terrible actor. And a great actor knows the difference so they could play in any part. You know, like to be a great actor, you have to be able you'd have to play a character poorly and nailed it. But again, we get the first episode, we get introduced to Simon Williams, his super hot ex-girlfriend,
Yep.
Olivia Thirlby. She could have been in this more. That's just a personal thing. I loved her in a bunch of things. She was in a movie, I Love New York, I think, with Anton Yelchin before he passed.
I
Uh,
remember the last movie I remember her in was like this was like no I think it was like No Strings Attached. I think she played
yeah, she
Natalie
was a
Portman's
random, yeah,
sister. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, and we see Trevor. We see Trevor Slattery, and that's
Yeah.
not really a spoiler because he's in the show.
National treasure, by the
Um,
way.
and they don't mix around with anything.
No, they don't. No.
The first episode, again, I don't know if this is a spoiler at all. I don't think it is. is the Department of Damage Control is after Simon Williams.
Yep.
And the reason they're after Simon Williams is they suspect he's a superpowered individual, and they have a a superpowered individual prison that doesn't have enough superpowered criminals in it.
Yep.
So they're like,
They're about to
"Oh
lose their funding.
man, they're about to lose their funding unless
Yeah.
they start putting superpowered criminals in it." And I was like, "Ooh, man, we are dangerously preaching at this point. We are dangerously close." Thankfully, that was the only thing we heard of it. We just went
Yep.
straight to get superpowered people in here. And Simon Williams may have had superpowers. So they managed to trick Trevor Slatter, trick is it? Bribe,
Bribe.
connive, cajole,
Coerce.
coerce
Yeah.
Trevor into spying on Simon.
Yep.
And they tell us that in episode 1. We don't
Yep.
have to, like, if you are not hooked and like, ooh, what's going on in episode 1, you could stop. Like, don't bother. I'm not going to tell you
Yep.
it gets better. I'll tell you everything pays off. It's great, but that's it. So we have our episode 1. He's constantly getting in his own way. He's a good actor. He meets Trevor, and Trevor kind of takes a shine to him. In addition to being like a spy, he's like, no, try this, do this.
Yep.
Okay. Episode 1 ends. We move to episode 2. We find a little bit about how that happened, how Trevor got caught, why he's doing it, and we find out that there's a new remake of an old superhero show called Wonder Man. And it is, what is it, 70s schlock? 80s
Was it
schlock?
70s or was it 80s? Yeah.
Well,
80s.
we know Simon saw it with his dad. And
Mhm.
I think the time is being a little wibbly in terms of what it was and what it wasn't, because
Mhm.
it's clearly like Flash Gordon, but I think Flash Gordon was like 50s and 60s.
Okay.
But that wouldn't work because then Simon would be
Would
82
be
years
it,
old.
yeah.
And he was very clearly like in the 90s, he was a young man. So,
Yep.
like a teen, young teen. Um, so he wants to apply for this job. He think this is the role. We don't know why, but we think he's like, I gotta get this role. This role is for me. This is exactly for me. And they go on a little bit of a fun little buddy cop roundabout, like trying
Mhm.
to find a way to record a shoot for something. And that I'm not gonna go. You can take over from there because I know you know what I'm talking about. What did you think? What'd you think of the Trevor and Simon buddy cop part of the episode?
So the Simon and Trevor buddy cop was utterly ridiculous in the right way. Like, I mean, it was absolutely utterly ridiculous. I mean, there was. I mean, I remember me and my wife looking at each other like they're not doing this. Oh no, no, they are doing this. But I understand that whole aspect of it was to spark some to show to have them have a deeper connection with each other, right? I get it. Like that was the whole aspect of it, right? It was bring them closer together, have them find a little bit more likeness, get them to trust each other a little bit more, essentially. Or in Trevor's case, get Simon to trust him a little bit more. Simon thinks he's bat is crazy, which he's not wrong. Trevor is clearly crazy, but also brilliant, right? And he shows his brilliance because they go back and forth with these exchanges of these different quotes that they're able to connect on. So like really what's happening is that they're developing a friendship. a deeper friendship,
It's a
which
nice little mentor
yeah,
mentee
hmm
bond they have. Yeah, completely.
yeah, yeah. Um, and then that essentially leads more, damage control becomes a little bit more impatient as we go along, and that ultimately is what is that the episode at the very end where Trevor gets the confirmation as to what that like there's something to this whole thing that damage control's been
Oh
talking
yeah,
about.
that's the episode where he removes the
The
sheet
dr-
and
the
goes,
sheep, yeah.
"Oh, maybe,
Yeah.
mayhaps,
Yeah,
may maybe Simon, because Simon's just a dude. We
right.
actually don't know that Simon has superpowers at this point.
I think we saw a moment of stress, and then we saw
We
like his
saw,
hands like
yeah,
going
but
a little bit, but we weren't there was still it was very subtle, super subtle.
we get to episode 3, Pacoima. That was the visiting his mom, and we
Mom,
get
yeah, the birthday
introduced
party,
to his brother, who in the comics
the Grim
is
Reaper.
the villain, the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, hey, how are they going to work that in? And I
Mhm.
refuse to answer that question because it's a spoiler. But
Yep.
I was wondering that then. I was like, oh, okay, how is this guy? And guess what? He was antagonistic as hell.
He was.
He was he was not a good dude.
No.
He was, and now keep in mind, he didn't have to be that way on
Yeah.
that day to that point. He
No.
was choosing to do that.
He could
He
have
was
kept the peace,
kind of a
man.
jerk. He
Yeah,
was
he was being
kind
a
of a
dick.
jerk.
Yeah, he's being a
Yeah,
dick.
I wasn't. He
Like he
was
had a
being a jerk
vendetta
at
from
his
the very
mom's
beginning.
birthday party
Mhm.
to the point where, and I'll even bring this up directly. He was like, "Oh, did you buy that with the money that mom loaned you, or with the money
Mhm.
that I loaned you?"
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, brother, what is you doing? You can't do that.
Not of all days, not today. Yeah.
Why
Right.
are you doing that? You know, like
Yeah.
what, like who are you trying to feel good in front of? Nobody. You just being mean to be mean in front of Trevor too, who's honestly just kind of there, right?
Yeah.
He's
He's
doing his
just looking for his
best,
moment to be able to get the intel that he needs.
and it's at that point Trevor makes a choice. He's like, you know what? Simon's a good guy. I'm not gonna snitch on him. Kind of. And then they get a phone call that they got callbacks for Wonder Man.
Oh yeah.
And I was so excited. And that's why I forgot that the next episode was a go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Here's
Wait.
Doorman.
Yeah. Wait.
And we're going to spend some time on this
Yep.
because Doorman was cinema.
Yeah, it was, bro. Episode 4. So there was a lot of things to unpack in episode 4. Number 1,
Josh Gad canonically dead in the MCU?
yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Canonically dead. Disney
Yeah.
love child Josh Gad murdered.
Yeah. First and foremost, love the fact that he was singing songs from Frozen
Oh
at
god.
his party. Like that was
Ugh.
amazing. Changed nothing in that episode. That was absolutely phenomenal.
We're gonna glaze this
The
episode for a while. Yeah.
we are so the obvious thing obvious takeaway from this here is that this episode was clearly a message of how African American men are treated, or how they are what their experience is in the industry, right? How they're picked and then they're basically churned through, and then as a result, they're just left, on the side. So like that's clear. Let's talk about that off the top. But also, my goodness, what the fact that it was shot in black and white was like phenomenal
It was
cinematography.
like, we're gonna show you without telling you this took place in the past.
Yeah.
And they also never went clear into the doorman, but the previous 3 episodes, there was the doorman clause. They mentioned we
Mhm.
can't do it after DeMar Doorman Davis.
Yep.
Like, we can't do, we just can't. And we're like, what happened? What happened
Yeah.
with this guy? In our mind, I mean, I can't speak for you. In my mind, I
That's
was
the world
assuming
building I
some
was talking about.
super powered guy was
Mhm.
just murdering people. But
Yeah.
like, they hired a super powered guy. Like, Christian Bale just went off one day. Like Russell Crowe, but with superpowers, just started punching PAs.
Oh man.
Um, but no, we got the story of a, I don't want to say this to be mean, but a simple black dude. Simple not in terms of like brain power or logic, just like he was he was
Regular
happy with
guy.
his job.
Yep.
He was simple in the terms of he did not ask for much. He was so happy being a bouncer
Mhm.
at a local like bar, karaoke joint, club, and he
Really.
had a great rapport with everybody there. He
Yep.
was he was just a good dude. Right? Josh Gad liked him. Like, he's like, "Oh, it's like, Josh Gad is the main character in this story.
Yes, it's amazing. That was amazing.
So he worked for this little bar, right? And we follow through the story of, wait a minute, he, because of Roxanne, because I love when they throw Roxanne in, and we're just like, these
Mhm.
people suck. There's never once have they been like, Roxanne, they're okay. They've always been like, Roxanne, the worst.
Yeah.
Conglamo, like, terrible.
Which
They're
also, by
like,
the way, what was them kind of letting us know without letting us know potentially how well we saw that's how Doorman got his stuff, but then also that was I believe was a plug for them to also say this also might have been how Simon got
that
his
might have
too.
been how Simon got his abilities,
Yeah.
yeah. Just throughout, like, hey, this kind of stuff. So he
Yeah.
gets so DeMar Davis gets the ability to, how would you describe his ability? Be a door?
Um to
Like,
let's make it sound cooler to teleport people through
yeah,
walls
yeah.
and floors.
Yeah, Jay just hit us with, I like how they tease Roxanne, but they haven't showed us how really, really bad they are yet. I don't
Yeah.
know, man. Every time Roxanne comes up, they're doing some shit. Like,
Yeah.
they are never like, and then Roxanne donated money to help children. It's like,
No, no.
and then Roxanne built a funeral pyre for the thousands of dead babies they took out. Like, what happened? Every time you see Roxanne, they're up to no good. And you're just
Very
like,
intentional.
whatever. At this point, like, whatever. So this guy gets the ability to, it's really hard to describe.
Escort people through his body through
Yeah,
doors
his
and walls.
his body becomes a hole in which people can pass through solid objects.
Yeah.
How does it work? Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Stupid.
Yeah.
We
Doesn't
don't
matter.
know. And it doesn't matter. It's just funny. And then, Josh Gad's like, "Hey man, that's real cool. Why don't you be my bodyguard?" And he's like, "Man, that's too much for me." And Josh is like, $250,000 a year. He's like, "Oh, okay, I'll do it
Yeah,
then."
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
like, and again,
Should have led with that.
who's gonna say no, right?
Yeah.
Like, this guy has this brand new magic ability. he's running around with Josh Gad. They're friends. And then Josh Gad figures out, hey, it'd be real cool. We could save some money on like special effects if we just use this guy's ability.
Yeah.
So they make a garbage heist movie, which just chef's kiss to the fact that it was a heist movie and how like Hollywood will just pump out any number of heist movies ever, even though they're all the fucking same. And he makes it. He gets a catchphrase, ding dong,
Ding dong.
which again, absolutely ringing bells of blaxploitation throughout time in Hollywood in memoriam.
Right.
Like, cool looking black dude with the catchphrase, name 30. Now name 30 more. Like he wasn't a person. He was a gimmick. And that's the underlying conversation of this story.
Right.
The asterisk is, but also superpowers, but also, and that turned it from like everything Ironheart did wrong. Like, look at Ironheart. Look at the point where their young black woman, brilliant young black woman scientist, not only actively wanted to partake in crimes, but was excited to commit crime. Like, loved to do it, to the point at one point she said, and I quote, "I just want to work for a company so big, they pay me a lot and don't care if I finesse some resources." These are not handled the same at all. These are not the same caricatures of each other. One is to show this is something that happened. It's still to some degree Steve Urkel, like, you get typecast, you become the character. It's just how Hollywood dealt with most people of color, for what it's worth. Like, if are you Asian? Welcome to Kung Fu. Like, you could speak, like, are you brown or Russian? You're a bad guy. Like, Hollywood typecasts, has forever, always will. This guy's powers made him pretty popular, but most people don't know what to do when they go from, I'm a simple guy with a very small circle, to the world has an opinion of me.
Yep.
He starts getting hate. And this happened, if I'm mathing this right, because they didn't tell us the year, but it wasn't in time memoriam. You know what I mean? It wasn't ancient. It was like maybe 5 years before the events of. It was sometime after Frozen. Frozen came out.
So now we need to figure out when Frozen came out in the canon of the MCU. Like, when did that happen? Was it before?
Well, because he was
Thanos
looking at Twitter. He was Twitter was popular enough. Mario Lopez was doing Inside Hollywood.
Yeah.
So like there was it was recent.
They got Mario Lopez to do this. Like, there's a lot of things in this.
And
like
some a message to the end of the episode, right? Like, this happened while Simon was actively interviewing. Like, he got a job. He walked out of the job.
He walked out of the job
at the end of the episode. Yep. We catches up to the current. So this didn't happen a decade ago. This happened a few years earlier from the time of this event, right?
Yep.
And we know damage control has been around in its current form since Spider-Man No Way Home. Movie.
Yeah,
yes, but the current version of damage control with because we see the same guy from Spider-Man No Way Home.
Okay, do we see? I see the lot. I'm sorry. So what have we seen? So we seen him in Spider-Man.
That was when the Department of Damage Control was founded.
Okay. And then we saw him again in Miss Marvel, right? Because I'm trying.
We saw him in Ms. Marvel.
Yeah.
where they became a little bit more militarized group.
Mhm.
Like Department of Damage Control in the comics is kind of a joke group that just kind of fixes. They're an insurance company that fixes stuff that is destroyed because of superpowered individuals.
Yep.
Here, they're more like a watchdog organization,
They're
which
kinda, like,
is
setting them up like Orcus, which is kinda weird,
yeah,
like
no, they really are. Like
yeah.
they're they're kind of setting them up like OZT, you know,
Yep, yeah, yeah.
which they might be doing for X-Men purposes down the road, but
Right.
like the Department of Damage Control might be the people that end up with Sentinels in sometime in the future.
Mhm.
Remember when Damage Control openly shot at scared high school girls? I do, because Ms. Marvel was a great show.
Yeah.
It was a great show. It just wasn't a great adult show. It was what it was. They and everyone did what they had to. So Doorman starts drinking. He starts taking some questionable jobs.
Uh-huh.
He he's not okay. And then
People end up getting hurt. He's on the
yeah,
hook.
he they're like, "Hey, let's do Cash Grab 2 or Heist Movie 2." And just for 1 second, he lost control of his powers.
Yep,
And
because
we
he
have
was
and we have
heavily
yet to see Josh Gad again.
yeah, was heavily
Josh Gad,
inebriated.
yeah, Josh Gad, because he's an alcoholic. And he is, from what we can gather, being held at that facility, which
Yep,
is another knock on, hey, why are we trying to fill this with black men? What are we doing here? Prison? What's going on? Again, I've always said, if you want to talk about something important, you don't just say the thing that's important, you tell a story about the thing
yep,
that's important. So if like it's the difference between saying gay people should be allowed to exist, which is like, yeah, duh. Why are we talking about that? Or just showing a gay couple doing no like normal is such a shitty word to say, but benign actions. Like,
yeah,
oh,
fair,
what are
yeah,
these two doing? Shopping at a grocery store, just like us. But don't treat people uniquely. Don't treat them different because they're different. Don't try to show, but they're just like us. Just let them be normal people.
yep,
And that's what they did with this. They managed to talk about an issue without beating people over the head with it and making it both cinematically appealing and consistent to the story in a way that makes us, the viewer, go, that does suck. Some people might not pick up on these things,
yeah,
but their
true,
brains do. But their brains do. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You might not pick up on the fact that DeMar Davis was a black man, scooped from obscurity, given a role, and he over time became a scapegoat. Granted, like it was his fault. Like he didn't do nothing wrong, but like
yeah,
became a scapegoat, and then they named a thing after him. Like you might not make the connection that we are just talked about, but your brain did. Your brain will recognize that in the future, and then from that point on, I'll move on. So again, very well done, well written episode, well acted episode. Had a few moments of humor and like, haha, very important story, and got us to where we are in the story now. Why is Simon Williams, who has powers that we do not understand, at this point we've seen the results of his powers once, and we saw him break a table. So what is he strong? That's the only thing we know, right?
yeah. If unless once again you know his powers from the comics, but it was not explained. It's like that was one of the things that my wife asked me after. She's like, "What exactly are his powers?" And I was like, his powers ionic energy, and she was like, "What does that mean?" And I'm like, "Radiation." It's just like, what's the simplest way to explain this to
The
someone
simplest way
that
to explain
doesn't
Simon
know?
Williams' powers is Simon Williams has the power to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
What do you mean do it? Yes.
yeah,
Can he? Yeah, he can.
yeah. You
What
can.
about absolutely? Can he only on Tuesdays? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he is a living comic books Wonder Man. He is a being of pure energy.
energy, pure.
He did, and he is his body is held together by the fact that he wants to be a human. So he doesn't have a heart. He has a heart-shaped thing that pumps blood that he is creating because his brain wants him to do that.
He he doesn't need food. He doesn't need sleep. Like he does.
He
Like
doesn't need
he's not.
air.
Yep.
And we can go into comic Simon Williams. Actually, we don't have to. There's a
We should.
YouTube channel
I
called
explained
Sir
this in the video.
Superhero.
Also, I explained. There's also
Oh,
one
you
called
did
Keeping It
one of
Comic.
these? Okay, go to
Yeah.
Keeping It Comic if you want to know a catch up on it. But I always plug Sir Superhero because this guy likes to take obscure bullshit out of it. Like he did a Hellcat video. Ain't nobody doing a Hellcat video because they're like, I gotta make money on this. They're doing it for love of the game. You know what I mean?
Oh my
Like
gosh, he did a Hellcat video.
he did a video on Hellcat, and it
It was
was
She
like
Hulk's best friend.
Jessica
That's not she.
Jones.
That's Jessica Jones. You're right. You're right. Hellcat
Yeah,
is. Oh my gosh, what's her name again? Trish, right?
Patsy Walker.
Patsy Walker.
Patricia Walker, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know obscure comic book characters because I am hyper nerd. Like I love diving into nonsense. And the more obscure the better. So Wonder Man is great because he has lore, but not so much that Wonder Man fans are going to be like, how dare you make this the Wonder Man story that we got? He wasn't first a supervillain that felt bad and then tried to be a hero, but sucked at it, so then went to Hollywood and also sucked at it
Sucked at
until
that.
he became a stuntman because he couldn't get hurt. Those guys can go fuck themselves. Like, they don't matter.
Yeah.
People are like, who the
Oh,
hell's
man.
Wonder Man? This show tells you everything you need to know. So the Doorman episode ends. We now know why. And again, just to throw it out there, this isn't a legal thing. Like, Congress didn't pass the Superheroes Can't Act Accords. This is a Hollywood insurance issue. Studios cannot insure their films if a superpowered individual is working on them in any form. You can't have the Thing be the key grip, which is insane. But it's business. It's all business reactions, which is another commentary that we don't have to get into. But
I was just gonna let you cook. I was gonna say a word.
Listen. I feel like I'm not allowed to say too much on the topic, like, but I recognize and I listen.
Extensively, I'm just choosing not to.
I recognize and I listen, and that's all I can say. I saw
Listen,
it.
and we
I was like,
judge.
oh, we judge, motherfucker. Every time I see one of those we listen and we don't judge videos, it's always the shit that needs to be judged.
Yeah. No, this what Jay said is actually pretty funny. No offense, but when people got mad about Ajax being played by a female, I felt the same way. Who cares? How many of you actually? It is very true. Like, how many people even knew who the Eternals were?
there is a amount of people that truly suck.
I didn't know that's
Everywhere.
what you were gonna say.
Yeah,
That-
yeah, I had you going for the first half. That, like, down to their skin and bones, garbage people. That I know a lot of people, and I don't say that for any reason other than I know hundreds of thousands of human beings. I'm not on first name basis with all of them. Some of them I haven't talked to in a while, but I meet a lot of people. I communicate. I I shake hands. I try to remember everybody I've ever met, and I can tell you the number of people who are abjectly terrible from my experience is not a great number, but you'll fucking see them when they show up.
yeah.
These people are the people that show up and complain about things and then hide behind the coward way out. Hey, I have a problem with Star Wars because they cast a black guy as the main or something like that. Oh, okay. So what's the problem? Well, historically the character would, yeah, if you have to go back and explain what the problem is he's a black guy. The
Historically.
problem is, oh, they cast a woman to play this role. Is that why you have a problem with it? No, I have a problem with it because, oh, okay, it's because it's a woman. You know what I mean? Like, there are
Yeah.
people that the number of people that do that is not a high number. They just tend to like be the vocally loudest person, and
Mhm.
people flock to loud people. When we talk about things that we like or don't like, I don't talk about I can't speak for you, Goof. I assume we're on the same page in this. I generally don't talk about the person. I talk about the character.
Yeah.
Dominique Thorne, the actress who played Ironheart, is absolutely wonderful, and I love her to death. I saw her in another movie. I can't even remember the name, but it was like a VHS movie, or it was like an anthology from like '80s or something. She was great.
Yeah.
Again, I don't remember the name of it, but again, I watched it like passed out. When when I say Ironheart sucked, she was not the worst part of it.
Oh yeah, no. We talked
She
about
said
that.
dumb things.
Yeah.
She did dumb things. The story was dumb. Some people don't act like that, but the number of people that don't act like that is very low. The problem is the people who have issues with something get swept up in the conversation. When we say Doorman was an episode everyone should watch multiple times until you see what's happening and you kind of pick up on little, like, hate to use the phrase microaggressions, but like microaggressions and stuff.
Yeah.
There's some things I promise you people missed because it's not in their reality, you know?
Yeah.
And until you know to
It,
look for it,
yeah.
you don't see it.
There were things I missed, but that's because I
Uh,
this is the
uh,
first time I'm watching it. I'm just watching it, right? The second
but
then
yeah.
the second time you watch it, and you're just like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So yeah, I mean the
Final
doorman
thoughts?
episode was amazing. Then we jump around. We can make the rest of this pretty quick because I
Yeah.
know we're going to pretty long on the synopsis here, but the next portion of this is basically where we finally see Simon. Well, Simon has to save Trevor because Trevor
From a drug dealer or something. I don't
from a
even know.
yeah
I
from
looked
something
away
from
for a second. It
his
was like, what's
past.
happening? All right.
Either way, now they have to chase
This
down
was
this
the
kid.
episode that could be considered filler, but I still don't
Yeah,
think it was.
yeah. It
Like,
was it was what eventually led to episode 6. But I mean, basically here it's like, hey, this kid saw him save Trevor. He used his powers to be able to do that. That was the one thing that Simon's always been concerned about. Now they end up chasing down this kid, and that bleeds into a bunch of crap happens, right? I mean, we can skip through that part. The main thing is that that ends up leading them to eventually getting the callback, and then we get to the callback episode. And the callback episode was one of the most powerful episodes in the series because this was finally Simon's breakthrough. Not because of the callback, but because of the character,
Were you
like what
stressed
he
too?
pushed through. Yeah.
Were you stressed too? Okay.
Yo,
I
heck
was
yeah, I was.
stressed the entire episode. I was like,
Yo, and when they had that scene where like he
yeah,
actually, I was like, oh no, no, what, he's a
you know,
fugitive now.
Josh, the guy who I used to do the other podcast with, and like he shows up here when we need a filler.
Yeah.
I was watching it with Josh, and Josh audibly was like, "Oh," and I was like, "I wish I was recording you, dude, because that would be your ringtone. Like when you enter Discord, it would go." "Oh." He was. This episode was so good across the board. It put Simon in a chair, and then it started poking him with sticks.
Yep.
Hey, here's this random guy. He's never acted before. He's naturally gifted at acting.
Gifted. Mhm.
Hey, here's this random guy. He's acted so many times and has been uh uh, reviewed heavily for his work. And Simon is sitting here going, I'm not even relatively unknown. This motherfucker, what is happening here?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was great. That was phenomenal. But what we got, so what I loved about the episode, right, is because this is the character study story that I enjoyed about this whole thing, because now you got this man who's been living in fear, and now he has to break through that fear moment. Because at this point, up until now, like that fear that he's been living in, that is literally manifesting all the bad things that end up happening to him in his life. Like that's this point blank period
Yeah.
from the very beginning. And him not doing well is because he can't get out of his own damn way. So then being able to break through that, and there's a lot of reasons why, like because I will say this, that's one of the things that I talked about with my wife. I'm like, there is a cultural component to this too that people don't realize. Like they're from Haiti. They're from a third world country, right? They're
Mhm.
from Haiti, and from a cultural perspective, one of them, me being Jamaican, that's one of the things that I understood was you're told, listen, don't embarrass me, right? That's like what, like things that you do, like you keep those home, like your flaws and all that. Like you don't show those things outside. And that's how he lived his life this entire time. And then on top of that, he has powers. So then he feels even more heavily guarded. And because he's so heavily guarded with that, he can't actually properly tap into the emotions that he needs in order for him to be, like, he's already a good actor, but he could be so much better if he finally learned to let go just a little bit.
His anxiety,
Like it's
man.
this anxiety, exactly. That's what it is. It's anxiety, it's fear. And watching that unravel in that episode was so freaking beautiful because in a lot of ways that's, Trevor helps him to unlock that. But I think also too, that was the breakthrough that Trevor also needed as well. Because Trevor wasn't just talking to Simon. Trevor was also talking to himself.
Yeah. We could take a moment. We can kind of track Trevor's life, right? And they give you little
Mhm.
dribs and drabs of his past and his mom and everything. But like we
Yep.
see earlier on the interview for the Mandarin, like we see
Yeah.
like our first introduction to him. He is cast to play this terrorist character and has no idea what's happening. And you ask, how could he not know what's happening? Well,
Mhm.
he doesn't care. and you were giving him drugs and whores.
All the more reason not to.
That's like if they're like, Tony, how are you unaware of what's happening in New Jersey right now? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I've been playing Marvel Rivals for the last 4 days straight, and all of my food is delivered by Uber. Why would I have come out? Is there a zombie apocalypse that I missed? Holy shit. The power didn't go out. My internet's still working. I didn't
Yep.
get a notification saying like, hey, zombies. So what are we doing? We get flashback, then we track him further. He gets broken out of prison by Wenwu,
Yep.
right? Like by the actual Mandarin,
Actual Mandarin. Yeah.
and then kidnapped. Keep in mind, I was saying the entire time he's got a lawsuit on his hands, man. The federal government could not keep him safe in prison. He was broken out of prison. That's
To be
hey,
careful.
you my responsibility is to be you. I was a ward. You had to keep me alive. You failed to. He could have sued them. So when Department of Damage Control picked him up, he's stupid. That's the other problem with Trevor. Trevor's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's
Absolute jackass.
He's a savant at acting. Truly phenomenal. But like outside of that, dumb as doornails.
Yeah, man.
Like we track this guy's life. This show was as much a Trevor Slattery sign off,
Redemption
or like
arc.
not redemption. I don't want to say sign off that implies finality to it.
He needed to prove it to himself that he could actually do it. That like it was proved to his mom, but really it was proved to himself that his mom was right about him. And that's the same exact story that Simon had too. It's like proved to himself that his dad was right about him. Because Simon didn't even have the dream. The dream was planted, right, by his dad. So like that's the whole, so like that's the whole thing, that they're both carrying this. They're both carrying this dream that both their parents had. So I mean, to me, that was the beauty of it. It's like they're both carrying each other and helping each. Iron sharpens iron, right? Like they're carrying each other on this journey together, and they need help in different ways. And Simon was able to provide what I believe was stability for Trevor, and then Trevor was able to provide um motivation, for him as well, because like to be able to feel like I can actually do this. So beautiful, like I said, beautiful relationship, beautiful friendship that led to their phenomenal moment that they had. By the way, from a comic, you put this up on the screen, from a comic book perspective, right? I will say this. I 100% thought that this dude was going to be an alien in the series. Because there's a part in the story, man, where like there's a guy that's like using cameras to control like his crew, or whatever, in a Wonder Man story. And I was like, is that like it could be it, right?
I didn't want to cut you off,
Yeah.
but while you were talking, you popped something into my head, and I needed this picture up so I would remember it. And what I need to know is this guy's been in 2 things in the last not 8 months, right? He was in
Yeah.
Superman and he was in Wonder Man.
Yeah.
And this man has never done his hair. This is a picture of this man on the red carpet.
Oh my goodness.
This man is, I want him in everything. This man plays moderately aloof, eccentric, crazy person.
Very eccentric. Yeah, man.
Better than any person in all of history. This man has never showered. This man's hair is a species on its own. Zlatko Buric is his name. And I love this man so much. He adds just enough. Wait, what? To the entire show. What's his name? Von Kovac?
Von Kovac.
Oh, is he a good director? Let's see him. Oh, he's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a madman. I just needed this picture of this man up because
The last
this is a
movie on Earth
good
because
picture of
no
him.
one would have the balls to make
These are
no, he was great. Hold on, is that what he looked like in the past? That is amazing. That is not true.
this is a picture of him.
What movie is this that he was in?
I don't know. It's like can't be reached. Whatever. They're saving us. They're saving us from him. I don't know, man.
That's fair.
But I love this man so much. So much. He is a Croatian Danish actor.
Okay.
And he is also
Quite the combo.
and he is also perpetually homeless. Jesus God. Anyway, sorry. Needed to address that while the opportunity rose.
These are the important things that we need to segue
Yeah.
to
So
as we
again, Cat,
go throughout
I
the
want to
show.
see him again. There was somebody who's like, "Oh, we think he might be playing the cosmic space villain Michael Korvac,"
Mm,
and I was like,
nah.
"No." Every time I see a ridiculous, like theory,
Mhm.
I'm like, Ugh. No, no, it can't be. The
Yeah.
only, and to segue just a second, one thing I've appreciated about social media over the last like week or two is how like Netflix and Stranger Things are like, yeah, the conspiracy gate, the secret ninth episode was, just the fans having a hard time letting go. To which the entire fandom was like, no, the ending sucked. We assumed there had to be more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's fair, bro.
just Netflix is like, come on, guys, don't you love Stranger Things? And they're like, we did until you shit the bed, you
So is it
assholes.
done? Is it done now? Or like it's like because I've never watched this whole thing. So like, is it done?
Is Stranger Things done? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're gonna tell some more stories over
So
time because
this
because
money.
Netflix is like, whatever, maybe you'll make us more money on this. But I think I think they I think the best option for them is to take a few years, like 5 or 6, and let the hate die because it is bad.
Let the hate
This is the
die.
exact
That's
example
strong.
of the people defending it are like, they're like going into the microphone like, quick, record me saying it's great, and then replaying it and reverb back so it sounds like there's
Mhm.
100 people saying it, but it's just one guy reverbing his own voice. It was awful. It was
Dang.
terrible. The entire last season was dog shit. The entire previous season was bad. Stranger Things is, I think, 5 seasons total, and 2.25 of them are good. And everything else is just. And now we're
I'm looking
still
at
worse than Game of
the
Thrones? Nothing is worse than Game of Thrones. And watch your say that to you. But then again, Game of Thrones took some time, and now we got House of the Dragon, and House of the Dragon's a good show. If you like Game of Thrones shit, House of the Dragon's a good show. It's very watchable, very enjoyable. Not the same, but still a good show.
why is so IMDb is just giving me the rating for the entire I just want to see season 5. Like, what do people think about season 5? Oh, okay, damn.
Uh, yeah,
Um,
it's bad, bad.
I mean, IMDb has this rated pretty well, so it is hard for me to know. So they aren't. I thought maybe I was wrong about this. I thought that they were taking a. They released a few episodes. They released 8 episodes, and they were going to be coming back with more. Maybe I was wrong about that. So they were officially done. Like, there's no more episodes now. That's it.
OG Dexter. Sorry, I'm reading that comment. OG Dexter's last season wasn't terrible. The last episode was terrible. Or the last 2 episodes were terrible for OG Dexter. And it was so, but here's the thing. Then they got Dexter New Blood, which
Yeah.
was supposed to be like a recap, and that had a terrible ending too. So like they gave it another one season to catch up on everything, and the ending to that was so bad that the showrunner was like, "We're doing it again." And then they
Mm.
got the new Dexter, which is I don't know what it's called. I really don't remember what the Resurrection, and that show rules. Dexter Resurrection season 1 was great. But sorry, we're segueing all over the place now, bouncing back and forth because we're kind of done with.
Yeah.
We have like 2 other things to talk about with Wonder Man. The first is when I don't want to talk about the last episode at all. I don't even want to mention it because
I
the last
mean,
episode
it's
is
all
the
right.
only part that feels a little rushed to the season.
Yep.
And if I knew we were getting a season 2, I would say cool. But I don't know we're getting a season 2. We
Yeah.
should get a season 2, but we're now on the second to last episode. They get cast. Both him and Trevor get cast. They start shooting. Some hatchet woman from
Hmm.
New York Times shows up and starts digging into their past. So Simon's like, fuck. Like, okay,
Yeah.
she's gonna find out I'm a superhero. Except the only people that know he's a superhero, realistically, are like his mom, his dead dad, his older brother. Apparently,
And his
his ex
ex-girlfriend.
girlfriend figured it out.
Yeah. Don't know how that happened.
And Trevor. So like, spun it
And
around. She was
kind of damage,
actually,
kind of
yeah,
damage control because they suspected.
yeah. So she was actually like, no, you rule. I'm actually here to dive into Trevor's slattery. Weren't you the Mandarin, motherfucker?
Yeah.
And then starts like, weren't you arrested recently? What are you doing? And Trevor is now like, bah, 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 bah. And he
How
kind of
did she
comes
find
clean
out?
to Simon. And that sets up the finale of Simon knowing Dexter. Dexter, Jesus Christ, I'm reading the chat. Simon knowing Trevor betrayed him. And we see Simon just kind of let go for a second. And it
Yep.
is just a second. That's the scary part. This is the first time we see Simon Williams be like, crime time.
Yeah.
Woo!
That was a smidget of his power. A
I
smidget.
Yeah. And then the finale happens, and I think the finale was good. If on a scale of 1 to 10, without using 7, I'd say it was a 6 finale to a 9 series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like
accurate.
like I don't use 7. If you do a scale of 1 to 10, 1, you don't use decimals because now that's a scale of 1 to 100, and 2, you don't say 7 because it's a cop out answer and everyone wants to say 7. So it's either good enough to be better than a 7, which makes it an 8, or not as good as a 7. I was just being nice, which makes it a 6. Finale was fun. It was cool. I laughed a lot. It just felt a little rushed to me. Like maybe that was supposed to be 2 episodes. Or maybe it was supposed to be like 7 was supposed to be most of 8, and then the finale of 8 was supposed to be shorter. I don't know. I know that the writer strike happened during the filming of this, so they might have changed some stuff. Um,
Which, by the way, they made mention of in the show,
yeah,
which is kind of cool.
they did. Yeah, great meta jokes. But all in all, what do you think of the season? We'll go into more topical stuff about this, but what do you think of the show?
The show was great. And like I said, I mean, I like I said, it's a top 5 for me. Um, and I think I've said this before. Like, I think my favorite show is Hawkeye. Right? I think I said that before.
You mentioned it.
Yeah. So it's up there for me. Like, it's a series that I would love to watch with my daughter, but it's not quite appropriate for her age yet. She's only 9. Um, but like it's great. Like I'm watching it again. There's no question
Yes.
about it. I'm gonna watch it again. And then I'll probably watch it again after that. like I enjoy the series. So I think my couple gripes that I have with it are number one, um, I would have liked a little bit more clarity on what actually happened to his dad, just from like a relationship perspective. Like I would
I still don't know. I actually always assumed he had something to do with it, which is why his brother was such a jerk to him.
that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, maybe that's exactly where I was gonna lead into, because maybe that would explain to me like why his brother was just such an a-hole. And
He was
also like maybe
total
and then maybe
d bag.
also why his mom was so protective of him too. Like just because like I'm just curious, like, was it that Simon had something to do with that and we didn't find it out? Also, I would have liked a little bit more clarity. Not that big of a deal because I don't think I really cared that much about it, but I care enough. I would just like to have known how he got his powers, right? Unless that is going to be explained indirectly, because that's also tied to other people getting their powers, which is why I said maybe that also is why that whole Roxxon thing, maybe how Damar got his powers, maybe that's also a similar way that Simon got his powers. It's also clear that Simon got those powers at a young age, which is the reason why we're tying that to maybe potentially that's also the reason why his dad died. So, um, I would have liked to have seen more of a connection and understanding of his relationships with Vivian. I would have liked to have seen that a little bit more. I felt like that was a little bit too abrupt. Just I thought that would have been cool. And yeah, I mean, that last part is just me being nitpicky. The other two are far more important to me. Like, how did he get his powers? What happened to his dad? Like, are those things related?
I don't want to be done with the story of Wonder Man, but I also don't want to be done with the story of Moon.
Mm,
And we know we're getting Daredevil.
yeah, coming in March.
So I have a couple of thoughts, and I think these will all span out into conversations for us. The first thought is Marvel is stupid if this is the last we see of Wonder. I I don't care that he shows up in an Avengers movie. That's not something I care
Yeah.
about.
To a certain extent, almost would be terrible to do that just because, I mean, he is a pacifist, right? So, you know what I
Mm.
mean? It kind of like he's a pacifist, but he's not. All right, let's put it this way: he's not going to back down from a fight, but he's also not going to go seek one out either.
I like
I'm
the
cool.
idea.
I'm cool. I'm cool if it's West Coast Avengers though.
I like the idea. Uh, I think what Netflix did with the Defenders, while not the best execution, was a phenomenal idea. Daredevil was great. Jessica Jones season 1 was great. Luke Cage season 1 was very good. The reason I'm not going to say it was great is because it felt like the second part of that season was a very different story from the first.
Once they killed off Marshall Ali's character, it kind of did take a dip.
Correct. Iron Fist 1 and 2 both sucked. I don't blame the actors. I think the story sucked. I think they were trying too much. They were trying to do too much background and not enough these people you have to matter. They focused too much on the parts of the story that didn't matter and not enough on the parts of the story that did. Also, he was, again, my friend Bill from a decade ago, I used to work with him. He said, I'm sick and tired, and this was early in Marvel, it was like phase 2. I'm sick and tired of the superheroes losing their powers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, that can't be the story anymore. I don't want to see, well, what if Iron Man can't use his suit? That's boring. I get it. Yes, well, if he doesn't have a suit, he's not special. Well, they're going to try to make him special. He's not special without the suit. Like, what if Captain America didn't have the super soldier serum? He would be a guy. Like,
Yeah.
would he? You know?
Yeah, he was like, yeah.
He'd be a nice old man. Or dead.
The latter.
What if Sam Wilson didn't have the Falcon outfit? Oh, then he'd be a U.S. combat pilot. Like, you know, like at the very minimum, nothing special about Sam Wilson is his suit or his, like, he's just a cool dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight Sam Wilson. Like, do you want to fight Sam Wilson? No, get my ass. Now give him an adamantium suit. What's that for? What do you need that for? What do you need? Like,
Things
Black Widow, murder bitch. Hawkeye, doesn't miss. Bagged Velma from the Scooby-Doo movie. You know, like, change nothing. Was any of the Netflix Marvel series worse than Echo? Live action?
Echo. Was any of the Netflix Marvel series worse than? Oh, Netflix Marvel
She-Hulk.
series worse than Echo.
Oh, Netflix Marvel series?
Netflix Marvel
Yeah,
series.
Iron Fist season 2
Yeah.
and Jessica Jones season 3 were worse than Echo.
I would put Daredevil season 2 there personally for me, but you know, I might get
Daredevil season 2 felt split. Daredevil season 3 was, I mean, I hear criticisms all around, but I didn't hate them. And now with Born Again, even Born Again season 1, it felt weak at points, but overall it was a good series.
Yeah.
And I'm cool if, like, I don't need a team up where Wonder Man shows up to, like, help the Eternals whenever we get that sequel.
I
Right?
suspect that he may make an entrance in Vision Quest.
I'm talking about like movie jumps. Like, if I don't need him to show up as a suited up superhero in a battle against Doctor Doom. What I would like is one day of shooting where they are in town and he just happens to be there and he goes, "Oh, you're going to want to check this out." The universe feels lived in. I don't need him to, like, it could be a waste of an opportunity. No, he's just there. We know he's there. We know Daredevil's there. Daredevil went to the West Coast, fucked She-Hulk, and then came back to fight in Hell's Kitchen. He walked all the way back. That's what we watched. We watched him walk from She-Hulk's apartment to New York City without shoes. Wonder Man was great because it was not funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I laughed. There were
Yeah,
funny
well,
parts of it,
there were moments that were funny,
but
but,
it wasn't a sitcom. It wasn't ha 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 ha. Let's laugh at this. It was a well executed drama. It was like Loki season one. It was like WandaVision, pluses and minuses on WandaVision. Hawkeye was very serious, but also a little Marvel jokey. I still loved Hawkeye, but that everything needs to be goofy is the thing that Marvel latched onto and believes it's what made them special. And it wasn't what made them special. It just was like it didn't matter at that point. They made a decent enough series of movies and stories that the funny humor haha was great. And we saw what happened the other side. We had too serious Thor, way too serious Thor, kind of more lighthearted Thor. Worst Thor ever. Like, there's no question that Love and Thunder was the worst Thor. And that's saying a lot because Dark World was still in. Like, Love and Thunder sucked.
Yeah.
Love and Thunder was like, let's make Thor a lovable fucking himbo. And like, yeah, but like, how many times does Thor have to forget who he is and then become a hero again? Like, we can't keep that can't be his only note. My issue is they released this all in one shot, which is something they do for ideas that they don't like. When they're
Yeah.
like, we don't know how this is gonna
We're not sure, right?
I don't agree with that. I think they should always release things either all at once or in like two
The way Friendly
packets.
Neighborhood Spider-Man did it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to do like, oh, we have 8 episodes, we'll do 4 4, or we'll do 3 3 2. I'm okay with that. Give for dramas and stuff. I'm okay with like, give me time to digest what's happening. Give me time to accept and storytell. Some of these shows, like Pluribus is another show I watched. Severance is another, a lot of Apple TV shows. Jeez, they're all so good. Like a lot of these are shows I watch, and I have no problem with them being weekly releases because they're dense. Not only do I want to watch them, I might want to rewatch them and get more out of it. And that's something I agree. But when you're making popcorn shows, dump them out. Let people watch at their rate. I know YouTubers hate it because they're like, we can't make as much content
Make
as we
content.
want. Boo hoo hoo. Shut the fuck up. Do your job. Or don't. It's a fake job. It's a made up space job. Who cares? Do it or don't. But I I don't like how it seems like they're like, here's Wonder Man, figure it out. Because it historically, Disney has put a lot. This YouTube is the first, am I right? Yeah, right. Uh yeah, right. Jokes, right? We got jokes. I don't think I think there's a middle ground for these type of releases. I'm concerned because Echo sucked. Moon Knight didn't suck. Moon Knight was interesting and
Yep.
can be more interesting. Uh Wonder Man is interesting. I want to see more. Loki is season 2 is over. We can do a Loki season 3. We could have done a Loki season 3 as a lead up to Doomsday. Who thought of this? Nobody. It was Chapek being an idiot. It was Feige not having control of his kingdom. And if Wonder Man is what we get when people are doing what they're supposed to do, let's keep the TV shows with their own continuity in the greater universe, right? Introduce us to all these nobody fucking characters, right? Ghost Rider should not get a movie. Blade should get a movie, but that's because
Yep.
Blade rules. Ghost Rider should get a TV series. These are things that I'll even stand by. I think Spider-Man should never have another movie. I don't care if he's in movies. He should just never have a. There's never been a Spider-Man movie better than most Spider-Man cartoons, even the weird ones, like Spider-Man Unlimited, which was a totally wild, um, insane Fox Kids cartoon, was still pretty good because Spider-Man works better when you have a villain of the week and an overarching problem.
Yep.
Spider-Man works as a comic book story. Batman works as a comic book story, but Batman also kind of works as movies because he's got so many dense characters. Superman, movie character, right? Iron Man, shocking they made movies out of him. I need you to know, if anyone doesn't know, that like before 2010 was the first Iron Man movie, 2009?
No, was it 08? 08, right? 08.
Oh 08? Okay.
I think it was.
Oh 08. Fine. 08. Prior to that movie, Marvel fans, comic book fans didn't like fucking Iron.
Yep.
Like Iron,
Especially after Civil War.
Well, they they fucked him up so bad after Civil War, they had to put him on the other side of Captain Marvel in Civil War 2, and everyone said, we just don't like this story. It was, dude, it is insane to me, and I can always spot, I don't want to say a fake fan, but a recent fan. A fan that's happy now that things are popular, as opposed to somebody that grew up with it or was experienced things there. Because they like their experience of Iron Man is like, wow, Iron Man rules. And not the overarching opinion of Iron Man from 1960 to 2007, which was fuck this guy. Like Iron Man sucked. He still kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that the MCU was built on the back of Iron Man,
Funny, man.
he's been the bad guy in every fucking story. Now, again, I'm painting this from a different perspective. The MCU being built on the back of Iron Man changed that. But there's people who are like, yeah, Iron Man rules. And it's like, no, he sucks. They never he sucks. The biggest character assassination is Iron Man. It's not Thor being a himbo. It's Iron Man not being a douche.
Yeah.
Not like an unlikable douche too. Like at no
Like
point in time,
insanely unlikable
yeah,
douche,
at
man.
no point in time in his 50-year comic history has anyone ever been like, thank God Iron Man was here.
Yeah.
They've always been like, fuck, now we gotta deal with this drunk.
Like right now, there's a new ongoing series that just started, and already Captain America's like, all right, we gotta stop this dude.
I didn't hear
We
that.
gotta stop this dude, man.
Dude.
Oh boy.
And Caps also. If you ask me who likes Captain America, it's like 10 people.
Yeah, Captain
Cap
America
was so boring. They
yeah.
keep killing him. They
He's
killed him
fun
from
when
like
there's like other stuff going on around him, right? Like that's when he's fun. But
the Avengers worked because Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor suck. Like that's why the Avengers work, because nobody wants to read wanted to read the Thor story. But when they're all together, who was buying Ant-Man and the Wasp comics?
Yeah.
Ant-Man, Hank Pym was a wife beater. Like, like these are real things.
Yeah. There is Thor comics. I don't think Thor comics suck. I just don't think Thor comics are incredibly confusing. They are like if you like that
Thor
cosmic
comics
crap.
now are great.
Yeah, they're
Thor
fine now,
comics,
but back then this is incredibly confusing. You're just like, what? Who? So who's Odin's children again? Like, please explain that.
everybody,
Like who?
and 4 new ones. Angela, Angela.
Oh
I
man.
swear to God, dude, the number of psychotic, like, comics. This is how comic books used to work. If anyone's unaware, and I'm only going to talk about Marvel, although I could talk about DC. I'm going to give you guys a painting of comic book stores from the year 1991 to the year 2004. Get ready, okay? Every comic book store. Spider-Man, 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 37 X-Men titles. Spider-Man, 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 Avengers, pseudo mutant related title,
Wolverine.
Wolverine standalone title. Just a picture of Rogue in a bikini. That's it. That's
Every
all comic books
Hulk,
were
Hulk every now
for a
and again. Yeah.
decade. For a solid decade. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Hulk. I do apologize.
Yeah.
There was 2 Hulks. There was the Incredible Hulk and then Hulk. Those were the
Yeah.
2 runs for Hulk. And then there was occasionally you'd get an 8 or a 9 issue run of She-Hulk and be like, "Ooh, interesting. What's she doing?" Fucking everyone. Cool. Thanks, She-Hulk. We love you. Never fucking change. Okay. What's going on in the X-Men comics? Which one? Uncanny. Oh, they're in space fighting aliens. Oh, okay. What's going on in Giant Size? Apocalypse. Just Apocalypse? Just Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Who is Onslaught? When? what? What do you mean? When Onslaught when? The first Onslaught? The second Onslaught? Red Onslaught? Onslaught Apocalypse? Which when are you asking me this question? The 90s and early 2000s were Spider for X-Men. For Marvel. X-Men, Spider-Man, a couple of Avengers comics. Oh, I'm sorry. Fantastic Four either was, hey, here's 3 different Fantastic Four comics, or who? That's the 90s. You could not get Invincible Iron Man would have like 3-year gaps. Invincible, right? It is Invincible Iron Man. I think was the name of his main run. Yeah. Invincible Iron Man would have like 3-year gaps between its volumes. Because everyone's like, who's buying this shit? We'll just read about it in Avengers. Like, who cares? Nobody. There were dedicated fans. Hawkeye didn't have a standalone. Black Widow standalone comic?
Uh,
Fuck you.
Remind me,
No
Black Widow
shot.
was more like she was later on, right? She wasn't because that was in the original Avengers anyway. So that she came on. When was Black Widow introduced as
80s.
Avengers? Okay.
She was. They actually kept the story pretty accurate. Hawkeye was a criminal who worked at a carnival, and Widow was a Russian super agent.
Okay. Yep.
And they had no relationship until one of them defected. I think Widow defected and then convinced Hawkeye to swap, but retcons are weird, so I don't remember 100%. And they've had a relationship. But there's also Mockingbird, who is a
Mockingbird, yep.
real character, who is a real Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. important character that we never got and we never will get again.
Was she Agent 13? Is that who she was? I'm trying to remember what like her moniker was.
Mockingbird.
Was it Agent? Yeah,
No,
but she was
13 was
also
always Sharon Carter.
Sharon Carter. Okay.
Yeah, Bobby Morse was Mockingbird. Roberta Morse, I think is her full name. But yeah, and then they have a honestly, they exist as a couple because of Black Canary and Oliver Queen in
Agent 19. Okay.
Widow was introduced. I don't know if she was introduced as an Iron Man villain or a Avenger villain, because I know she was a secret agent. They fleshed out her story significantly later, but she was just an assassin, which just a Russian assassin. Jason Aaron and Johnny Cates. Their comics rule now. All comics rule now. Spider-Man was the only. You know how many people were Spider-Man? No, stop. That's a stupid question. Do you know how many Peter Parkers there are? Right? You thought I was stupid for asking how many people are Spider-Man. Like, the answer to that could be one or two. Do you know how many Peter fucking Parkers there are? Not multiversally. Like, canon 616.
It's Ben Riley,
Ben Riley, Kane,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Spider Side,
who
who was a clone of Peter Parker, who was basically like completely unformed, so he's actually jelly. And then thousands of clones of Peter Parker, of which dozens were killed. The fact that the Marvel universe isn't Peter Parker as long as the way can see. Peter Parker is Peter Parker. Ben Riley is a clone of Peter Parker with all of Peter Parker's memories.
Yep.
Except, eventually,
gone now.
Yes. Well, we don't want to talk about Chasm, which is awesome.
Yeah,
except, eventually, Ben Riley realized, wait a minute, I'm not Peter Parker. That's Peter Parker. His Uncle Ben died. He has a lot of responsibility. I am a bucket of cells that was grown by a madman and trained by a wizard. I have no such responsibility. I'm gonna go be cool. Scarlet Spider, all of the power, some of the memory, none of the responsibility. Kane, some of the memory, 5 times the power, 9 times the 90s attitude.
Except 0 spider sense. But
he has no, yeah, correct. Kane has no spider sense, but makes up for it by having an uncontrollable ability to stick to walls. So much so uncontrollable that if he touches your face with his hand, his right hand, I think it's his right, I'm not sure, your skin connects to his hand and he can rip off your skin. Kane is also absolutely insane.
Yeah.
When people talk who the greatest Spider-Man villain is, they're like, oh, it's Norman Osborn. Oh, it's Dr. Octopus. It's fucking Miles Warren, motherfuckers. It is the Jackal. This man is a bane. An absolute bane on the existence of Peter Parker. He is the worst. The worst. But that was what 90s comics were. So you'd go in, you'd pick up 3 different Spider-Mans, and then you'd be like, oh, okay, what's happening now? And you look at an Avengers thing, and you're like, behold, Fin Fang Foom! And you're like, I'm good, thanks. I don't got time for this. Out of all the women that let Peter Parker hit, She-Hulk wasn't one of them. Really? Peter Parker's a good-looking dude.
I cannot confirm nor can I deny. Peter Parker has a lot of riz. Let's just lot of riz with Peter Parker. I mean, right now he's up in space, banging a space chick. Like he's just is it in Eight Deaths of Spider-Man? He banged Black Cat again, and then
Peter Parker is Wilt Chamberlain? Yeah.
Sidorak's daughter had a thing for him. Actually, I don't think they banged. I think she just had a thing for him. So much so
Did
that
he
she was
smash
willing
Captain Marvel? He did.
to give up her immortality.
Here's
Did
the thing.
he?
Okay, so here's
Wow.
the thing. It is heavily implied that they were supposed to go on a date and something came up. And
Was
that
it his penis?
something was his penis. There's only 2 comic book characters that fuck more than Peter Parker.
Is one of them Thor?
One in the Marvel Universe. The first Marvel character, it's not Iron Man. Wait, what just happened?
Right.
You can allow that. Oh, that's fine. Okay. It's all right, fine. I don't know why Nightbot kicked in. Sorry, we just got Nightbot going on.
I was
I'm sorry
wondering
about that.
how did that message just get immediately deleted? But
That's
it
my
makes sense
fault.
now.
Yeah. It was it's Cyclops.
That is right.
Cyclops has slept with everyone.
Yeah.
And more importantly, everyone wants to fuck Cyclops. It's
That's very
like,
true.
yeah, he's beating them away with a stick. He's just like,
Yeah.
ladies, please, I'm married. And they're like, we know and don't care. And even Jean's like, yeah.
That
Yeah.
is right. I am bat-ish crazy. So I guess at some point in time, I'm also never here. I guess he he must
X-Men
be something warm
97
from the
ruined it,
inside.
actually. Because what happened was he
Oh,
didn't
her getting
know,
upset.
because Madeline Pryor was like part of her entire character arc of being Madeline Pryor was the fact that like the second he found out that Jean Grey was back, like the real Jean Grey was somewhere else, and like that she was saved, he was
Yeah.
like, okay, bye. And like they had a kid.
Yeah.
But he wasn't like, oh, I have feelings for you. He was like, oh, sorry, replacement wife. I'm going to go fuck the OG. And she was like, but we have a kid. He's like, no, you got a kid in the future. Bye. And then he fucked Emma Frost so good that she went back to being a villain when he broke up with her.
Yeah.
The only other person in all of comic book canon that fucks more than Cyclops. Cyclops fucked She-Hulk. Cyclops fucked Gamora. Cyclops fucked everything. The only person that's fucked more than him is Nightwing.
Nightwing.
Nightwing had sex on Apocalypse.
With who?
Marta?
Wow.
For that matter, could be Granny Goodness. Who knows? No, like we used to play a game called Hero Clicks, which I have them all around. These tiny little superhero chess pieces, and one of the used to have like these fun like make your own teams, but they had to be themed. And one of the best teams was like women Dick Grayson has slept with, because like there's no limit. You could just build a team of any power number, like 10,000 point team, 13 point team, doesn't matter. They're infinite number. That's how much. But Cyclops isn't sex positive. Yeah, that's why he's Dick Grayson, not Richard. Swinging it. He's just swinging it. And the the phrase "any port in the storm"? The other way around, man. It's any post at the grotto. Like it's just him. There's like, where's Dick? Where's he going? Poison Ivy, I'm pretty sure, in one cannon. I don't know if it's if it's like like DC. Well, DC resets every 6 minutes. So. But what are we doing? So now we have Wonder Man, this great show, this phenomenal story, showing that Marvel can tell good and interesting stories about anyone. They're capable. They have the ability to do so, right?
Yep.
We have Daredevil season 2 dropping in March. Holy shit. Looks great. We know they're bringing back Mike Coulter, because every time anyone is asked, they're like, who's Mike Coulter? Like, Luke Cage. We don't know who that is. You referenced him in season 1 of Daredevil Born Again. What are you talking about? And then you ask Mike Coulter, and he's like, I don't know shit about fuck. So like, we getting Luke Cage back.
There was a hint that they potentially may be going the route of Mayor Luke Cage.
I love Mayor Luke Cage. Luke Cage rules. I love Mike Coulter as Luke Cage because I love Mike Coulter, the actor. But what I don't love, and I've always criticized Luke Cage show about this, is that Luke Cage is not hyper obsessed with money. Like,
yeah.
It's one of the reasons why the dynamic of him and Iron Fist is so awesome. Because Iron Fist is a billionaire who can solve any money problem that Luke Cage ever has. And Luke Cage still, to this day, requires payment for services that he does not need or require. He's like, dude, if you need something, he's like, it's not about that. It's about getting paid, motherfucker. Luke Cage rules. Power Man rules. Best character all around. Then we have Spider-Man.
Yep.
Brand new day.
June or July? Anyway, I'm trying to remember.
Let's see. What's coming out this year? Daredevil season 2 in March. Spider-Man Brand New Day is July. Vision Quest has absolutely no notes. We know it's happening. Blade is fucking canceled. I don't know if you heard that. Yeah, Blade's over.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Armor Wars, we're never getting that. Could have gotten that. We know we're getting a sequel to
be in some Midnight Suns project. Is what I heard.
That's the prevailing thing, because they are working on Midnight Suns. That is something that's changed. Is that Blade's not getting his own movie? They're just going to do a Midnight Suns, and it's going to be like a gothic horror movie. And I'm like, ooh, hell yeah. Well, like, here's the problem.
I want Mahershala Ali in a solo.
No, he's done. They can't. He's too old, man. He's 50 now.
Is he really that old? I mean, he's obviously not 50, but he's up there, right?
Mahershala Ali, 51 years old, born
Wow.
1974. Can he do it? Of course he can.
Yeah, he
Why
can.
are we paying Mahershala Ali for Blade when we can get, I don't know, what's Ice Cube's son doing? Sean Jackson?
Damn.
Is that his name?
He would have been a damn good Eric Brooks, man. Come on now.
There's got to be a British guy to get. Remember, Blade is British. We got Wesley Snipes Blade, changed Blade completely, made him super cool. we need, you know who we need? The guy who does the voice acting for Hobie, who's also from Black Panther.
Oh yeah, man.
He was in Get
Yeah.
Out. God, I don't remember his
Mhm.
name. But
I
that
don't remember
dude,
it either.
Daniel Kaluuya? Daniel Kaluuya, I think might be his. I might be butchering his name, but I think it's Daniel Kaluuya.
I'll let you know. I'll
We
let you
need
know in a
we need
second.
him. We need him as Blade. He
Yeah,
could,
Kahlua.
yeah. War of the Worlds 2. Amazon search for more product placement. Black Panther 3.
When is that hitting?
We don't know. Blade ain't shit. Scarlett Johansson apparently has another project coming.
Oh, we got X-Men 97 coming out this year too.
When?
That's supposed to
I want
hit
it now. I want it
midsummer.
now.
We got Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man coming in the fall. So that season 2. We There's supposed to be some Punisher thing that's landing this year as well. Isn't
The
there?
Punisher. Okay. Wonder Man's out. Daredevil Born Again is March
March.
2026.
Yep.
And then it's already been greenlit for season 3, which is the year after.
Okay.
Vision Quest in late this year. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man late this year. Punisher is middle of the year.
It's a
Either
special, right?
immediately before or a few months after Spider-Man, probably, because we don't, But we also know that the director of The Punisher
Mhm.
and Daredevil
Yep.
uh have met with the director of Wonder Man,
Oh, okay.
because Marvel is like, no, we're not doing this anymore. We're not making the same mistakes with Loki and WandaVision.
Okay.
Our stories are going to, if not directly feed into each other, never contradict each other. So if the TV show says something, or if the TV show wants to say something that we're not sure is happening, we're not letting it. And if it says something that is canon, we're sticking with it. We are not going to let Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, WandaVision happen ever again. Because at the
Got it.
end of
Okay.
Doctor Strange in at the end of WandaVision, we did not know what was going on with Wanda. At the beginning of Marvel's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we did not know what was going on with Wanda. But yeah, so Daniel Destin or Daniel Destin Daniel Cretton, sorry, I keep saying his name wrong. They're like, we need you. And he's like, money, please. And they're like, money. And he's like, I do all. Thank you.
Got it.
And he is trying to, so Brand New Day, Daredevil, and this last show, and the Punisher show, they're all being worked on at the very barest of minimum with oversight. So there's not going
Okay.
to be any glaring issues. Whether they are intentionally leading into each other, I don't care. But they are trying to not make it so it's stupid. And for me, that's good enough. And I think that's all the news. We're done talking about Doomsday because it's my hand cream. Um, we got our 4 trailers, and now we're supposed to get a full Doomsday trailer for the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
which is it's not this Sunday, right? It's next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Yeah. Brain fart. Um, yeah. So we are a week away from the next Doomsday trailer, and as of right now, silence. Just silence. Like, oh, remember when they did those
Oh,
4
there's gonna be a
trailers?
lot of talking.
So that's it. Who would make better DC content, Netflix or Paramount? Neither.
We would get more with Netflix, Paramount. I don't. If you said Apple TV, then I would say Apple TV. Netflix or Apple TV, then I would say Apple TV. Like that at that point.
Yeah. My 50 cents on the Netflix Paramount drama. Netflix wants the WB catalog and the ability to make superhero movies. Paramount wants Warner Brothers Studios. Netflix is going to win this because Paramount cannot hostile takeover. They tried. I got a tender offer in December for my shares. But the problem is Netflix is buying 70% of Warner Brothers. Paramount's trying to buy 100%. There is no math, and they don't have to do anything on it. There is no math that will convince people, hey, if we sell this, you're going to get paid and still have stock in our company. Versus if you sell this, you'll get paid a little bit more upfront, but nothing. So who's to say, right? Apple TV would be the best because Apple TV doesn't do stuff until they know they have good shit going on. But at the same time, Apple TV is slow as molasses. Um, Everyone's working in like Amsterdam or Spain with the amount of time it takes everything to be filmed and written and shit. So by the time Pluribus season 2 comes out, all my beard is going to be white. So I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing to say, I know you don't watch Star Trek shit. So Jay is
I
asking
don't.
me, what do I think of the new Star Trek? What's it? God damn, what's it called? Altered? No, something. Starfleet Academy. Thank you. I watched 2 episodes of that show, and then I took my iPad and I threw it out. I threw my
Also, it was good.
iPad out. Remember before Goof when I was like, there's when you tell a story and you tell it well and the topics are a part of the story
Mm.
and you could talk about very difficult or uncomfortable things or even straight up controversial things. But if you're telling it through the lens of this is the story and this is what happened, you're going to get your message further across than if you go beat you over the head with this idea. Starfleet Academy tripled their beat you over the head with this idea bonkhammer budget. And in the first 12 minutes, I swear I was being preached to at like like when you go on vacation and someone's like, "Hey, it's a free seminar for and a massage and stuff." And you walk in and they're just like Jehovah's Witnesses. It's like that, but identity politics. I hate it. I hate what they're doing to Star Trek. I hate the fact that Star Trek, which is a very progressive show for its time and always has been and always will be, is no longer a progressive show. It is no longer a show talking about difficult issues. It is now a show about difficult issues to talk about, which
Okay.
defeats the purpose of a show. Um, I can rant about this topic forever, but I will just always say this for anyone who knows or remembers that I'm an alphabet man myself. I'm a man of culture. Um, every time you try to show me a gay person and then try to tell me, "Hey, look, he's normal." I hate you for it. I stand by yeah, that's true. He actually did. I stand by if like Eternals had one of the best depictions of a gay couple in in mainstream media. And the reason why is because they were married with a kid and then they had a house and jobs and shit. You know, they weren't Will and Grace. Look at me, I'm the zany gay. Like same conversation we were having it earlier about Doorman. Representation isn't representation when it's caricature. It's only representation when it's real. So if you caricaturize and you make it so that, yeah, I understand that there's a number of people that would feel identified. I understand that there are people that are out there that look for support and help, and I pray to God they find it every day, whatever help they need. But if you're using media, if you're using something as a launching pad to talk about not controversial issues, but things that shouldn't be, you're just wasting your time because you're just going to make more people angry. Anyway, thank you for bringing that up. I don't watch it if goofy. No interest. All Star Trek sucks now except Picard. If you
I
don't
mean,
ever watch
after your raving reviews, bro, like why would I not watch
Goof,
it at
I'll
this
tell you
point?
this. If you don't ever watch any Star Trek shit, you're probably going to be fine. If you ever do want to watch Star Trek in any of its forms, just watch Picard. Just watch Picard season 1 and 2 and 3. And you don't have to know shit about any of the characters because the stories are good and everyone's real fucking cool. Every other thing about Star Trek, you could decide in your own way, but there's like millions of hours and who has time for that shit? What do you think? Final thoughts on anything that we just talked about?
Um, Wonder
Sponsor.
Man was great. Wonder Man was great. Changed nothing. We are potentially in a turnaround here for the MCU this year. If Daredevil does well, if Spider-Man Brand New Day does well, there will be a lot more optimism, and then potentially we could see that $1 billion um turnout here for Avengers Doomsday. But that will all be based on what happens with Brand New Day. I'll say this for Wonder Man, as good as it was, I don't see enough people talking about it. So it makes me feel like it doesn't matter, which is sad. But that's really an MCU problem. But I think as the word gets out, more people will be interested. And then when you get to things like Spider Man Brand New Day, then you can always go back and say, well, hey, you know what, that Wonder Man and that Daredevil was also good too. And then that could create a little bit more hype for something going into Avengers Doomsday. With that being said, though, my hopes aren't high for that to happen. It's more of a I hope that it does go well because
We're
they've had a rough stretch.
we're getting closer to me. Remember when I was like, "There's gonna have to be a lot of things that change between what was it,
Yep,
December and December, like in a year, that
yep.
will make me change my mind about Doomsday making $1 billion in the box office." And I still haven't changed my mind, but I'm more interested now than I was,
Yep.
and I'm always gonna watch it. The question isn't whether I watch it. The question is how many times I watch it, how many people I talk about watching it with, how many people I'm willing to answer questions. Sometimes, dude, my mom, at the very minimum, she's like, "Isn't we didn't see the Fantastic Four movie, did we?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Do you want to?" She's like, "Yeah, kinda." I'm like, "Okay, let's watch Fantastic Four, mom." She don't know shit about Doomsday. She gonna get confused as fuck unless the trailer hits, and she's like, "Why is Tony Stark a bad guy here?"
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be
True.
like, "Great." I'm not saying audiences are stupid. I'm saying Marvel fucked up.
Yep.
So, will it make $1 billion? As of right now, no. Spider Man has a higher chance of making $1 billion. And if
It does.
Spider Man doesn't make $1 billion, we are fucked in
Yep.
Marvel.
Yep.
Spider Man is like number one or number two recognizable comic book character, I think, in the world. It's like Spider Man, Batman, Superman, Wolverine. I think that's the order. And sometimes it changes. Sometimes it's a little bit more Batman. But like Spider Man's a money printing press. Snoopy, Hello Kitty is actually the highest IP in the world. But we don't have time for Sanrio. We're good. That's it. Uh, little tiny note for anyone sticking around this deep, either into the video or the stream. Goofy has asked me very nicely
I
to
did.
give a little bit more of a fuck about this. Um, and I don't know what a little bit is. I don't know if it's like, okay, I'll put on clean clothes, or if it's like, okay,
Start.
I will reorganize everything. But Goofy is interested in taking this podcast slightly more seriously than we have, and I'm not putting this on him. I am also interested in doing it. I don't want to make it like he's not twisting my arm, but that is where we are at. So what does that look like? We have ideas, but we don't know. What does that mean? I don't know. I've been streaming on my regular channel more. So I'm trying to get back in the swing of being live and active. Goofy's been still working hard on his everything. Jesus Christ. Goofy's got more businesses than Musk at this point.
Myself busy.
But we have been planning and little bits. It's always been time. Time has always been. You don't know my fucking channel?
It is
Okay.
not possible, Baka.
I'm the
Not at
Tony
all.
Scungili. I've always been the Tony Scungili. I always will be the Tony Scungili. Uh, but yeah, all right, I'll put it here. There. Done. Um, other than that, we're taking ideas and advice. So if there's a podcast you listen to in particular, it doesn't have to be about anything. Send it to us. Discord us, message Goofy, send it through Sperm. Goofy's, Goofy has the Sperm highway. Um,
I
one of
will
us will
not
get it.
receive your sperm. I will tell you
Hey,
that much.
listen, one of us will pick it up.
I won't
Um,
do it.
but either way, we're gonna make a little bit more of an effort. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean we're gonna be streaming every week? No. No, probably not. Does that
Yeah.
mean we're going to be putting out content on YouTube? Yes.
Yeah.
Does that mean we're going to be streaming on multiple platforms? Yes. Does that mean we're going to be doing vertical streams because algorithm demands it? Probably. Does
Probably.
that mean I have a shit ton of work to do in terms of organizing the OBS and Stream FM and all the other absolute nonsense that um comes up? Yeah. Are we going to do it? Yeah. When?
Yeah.
Soon.
Soon.
So for anyone who is loyal to us and watching all, this is episode 52. You'll know when things are changing because visually things will change and the title of the stream will change. A lot of things are going to change. But we are working on it now that we have a little bit more free time and a little bit more ideas. We're gonna knock out some strategy on making this a little bit more interactive. We appreciate everybody who watches us here and on YouTube and wherever else we put our content. But we know how to do it. This is the beautiful part about both of us. We know how to do all of this. We know what needs to be done, how to do it, and how and like making it work. But it's just so much things.
A lot
And I
of
like
things.
more than anything not doing things. And Goofy already has so many things to do that another thing is so many more things than just one thing. So between laziness and doesn't have time, we're still trying to figure out the middle ground. Thank you guys for watching us for as long as you have on our random schedules. One thing I will say, more spontaneous content will be coming. More reaction to news, conversation topics, stuff will be coming. Where? Somewhere. When? When it starts. We love you. Good night.